This tutorial is all about how to achieve more consistency by developing a repeatable routine that you can apply for every shot. I'm going to use my routine as an example, but your routine should be specific to you. There may be aspects of my routine or mechanics that don't align with how you want to play the game, and that's totally fine. Everyone has unique elements to their game, and the goal here is about being able to deploy them consistently and not for everyone to replicate each other's fundamentals exactly. My routine can be broken down into 7 sequential steps. The first step is planning. Absorb as much information as possible, especially as part of your first shot in any visit to the table. You want to plan how to run the table, which means identifying any potential problems that might need to be dealt with later. It may help to walk around the table, but take your time and don't feel rushed into getting down and playing the most obvious pot you see until you are ready to proceed. Step 2 is aiming. When you have a plan in mind, you can focus on the current shot. You need to decide what shot is required, and based on that, visualize the shot being executed to help determine the necessary aiming point, elevation, speed, spin, etc. All this needs to be done before you consider getting down to play the shot. As we've covered in earlier tutorials, it can be helpful to start by visualizing the shot from the line that takes the object ball into the pocket, and then find your line of aim from the cue ball to the object ball. Step 3 is your stance. Now we begin the shot execution phase by moving into our stance, and for me that means starting with my leading foot, or my right foot since I'm right-handed, and having my heel on the line of aim at an appropriate distance from the table. Following that, I get my head on that same line and then finally slide the cue into the line as well. Step 4 is the reset. This is optional and can really be done at any step, but I mention it here because this is the most common time you're going to identify that you don't feel comfortable. If you don't feel comfortable or undecided, just get back up and start the whole process again. You want to see the line of aim, accounting for your tip position and revisualizing the shot, and you should be able to feel confident that a well executed stroke from this position will correspond to what you visualized beforehand while stood. If it doesn't, simply get up, reassess, and then you can start again. Step 5 is final checks. You want to confirm your comfort level with some practice strokes if necessary. You just want to do final checks at this point, so you want to visualize the line of aim, accounting for your tip position, and you should be able to feel confident that a well executed stroke from this position will correspond to what you visualized beforehand while stood. If you don't feel comfortable or you're undecided, just get back up and start again. Resist the urge to adjust anything from down in this position. If you are comfortable, you can prepare to deliver the cue by ensuring that your tip is in the address position, close to where you want to strike the cue ball. Step 6 is the execution. Keep your body and head still, allowing movement only in your wrist, arm and shoulder. From the address position, you can start your stroke with a slow controlled takeaway, keeping with a loose grip, and bring the cue back as far as you comfortably require, based on the necessary power of the shot that you've chosen. Some players like to have a slight pause at the back of the stroke, but this is optional based on what works best for you. Finally, transition into your forward stroke by accelerating the cue, ensuring that your cue arm remains somewhat relaxed to avoid jabbing instead of stroking through the cue ball. Finally, step 7 is the analysis. Stay down as you have delivered the cue and absorb the outcome of the shot. If everything goes perfectly, you can continue execution of your plan and repeat the routine for the next shot. If something didn't go as expected, make sure to acknowledge what happened differently and potentially even consider why. Perhaps you misjudged the line of aim or deviated from it during your stroke. It's very important to momentarily analyse the outcome of the shot, as this is what helps retrain yourself to become a better player over the longer term. However, Don't dwell on on subsequent shots. Whatever happened, acknowledge it and then move on, freeing your mind to focus on the next shot.